I wanted to do a video on this pretty much right away as soon as I saw the news because, hey, this is what I love to talk about. You know, when you're talking about this type of stuff, I feel like it is definitely one of those situations where gamers are going to feel one way or the other about it. And I have a lot to say on it. So, you know, I really kind of want to get into how this kind of changes that dynamic for Xbox going forward and, you know, possibly what it means for, you know, the competition and things like that. Because I just feel like this could definitely be something that kind of changes the game long term for everybody. You know, it's going to be like super interesting to see how all this works. But again, this could lead to much better competition, and we could be seeing, you know, a lot of things that is going to just change how gaming goes. So, you know, again, I'm interested in hear how all you guys all feel about this. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Let's get started. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel. It means a lot to me personally. You know, it really does help the channel grow. And, you know, again, it's just really cool to see how everybody has kind of come together. And, you know, like I said, a like really does help. You know what I mean? That's something that realistically you guys can't overstate. I do multiple videos a day, usually multiple, sometimes just one, but daily gaming content, that's something that hardly anybody does. So, you know, we know that Microsoft is going to be bringing out a handheld to the market sometime in the next few years or whatever. Phil Spencer confirmed that, so we know that's going to be a thing. With that being said, you know, I think a lot of us kind of maybe question, you know, what's going on with Sony on this. And this is funny to me, you know, because it seems like Microsoft does something and people are like, that'll be the thing that really puts Microsoft back on the map. And then, you know, Sony does something and it's just like the same thing, and it just completely kind of crushes the momentum. So obviously we've heard a lot about the plans for Microsoft to create a handheld console at some point in the future. We didn't know that PlayStation was planning one as well. Apparently that's the case according to this new leaked report. The outlet says that Sony's in the early stages of development of a handheld that may or may not come to market. It's still years away from launch. This would be different than the recent release PlayStation Portal, which works using remote play instead. The suggestion seems to be that it would play PlayStation Games 5 natively. Sony Game Corp is on the early stages of development, a portable console that would play its PlayStation 5 games on the move. It also mentions in the report that Microsoft is they're prototyping handheld consoles, which had been assumed but not confirmed by Microsoft so far, except for recently saying that he loved the idea. Obviously, a lot of things could change where this is concerned, but where does this really leave Microsoft's Xbox offering? So, a handheld is meant to provide an option to play PlayStation 5 games on the go and still years away, still similar to what Xbox is doing. Sony has done handheld devices before, including PSP and PS Vita. Microsoft is also working on a handheld of some kind, and this company's offering is similarly years away from launching. Now, here's the difference between PSP and Vita. Those relied on their own games that had to be built specifically for that platform. These are going to be more along the lines of, you know, something that offers a game. You know, it's the same game. You actually will have to take your games with you, your library, things like that. And I think that's pretty cool, the way that they've kind of handle that, you know. That I think is the big difference, you know what I mean? It's like the Switch. It's a handheld, but it's a console. You know, you're not buying multiple different types of games for it, though, like with the 3DS and the handheld or whatever. You're actually able to kind of just play the same games, and I think that is like the major difference here. So, you know, according to this, Sony is in the early stages of it. It's years away. As you know, PlayStation 5 owners can stream games from the console to the handheld with the Portal to open up recently for direct cloud gaming. The device cannot play games natively, meaning that unlike something like Asus ROG or Steam Deck or Nintendo Switch, a strong, consistent internet connection is required. That's why it's shit. It comes as Microsoft and Nintendo are also working on handheld devices. The latter is widely expected to announce something of a successor to the Switch sometime in the coming months. Meanwhile, the former's confirmation is far more recent, with Microsoft's gaming CEO Phil Spencer confirming that Xbox handheld is in development. But like PlayStation's possible handheld, it's years away from launching. Now, Sony has prior experience, as we've mentioned, but both Microsoft and Sony are seeking to expand their audience by making new pushes into cloud gaming. Microsoft recently launched this long-promised feature that allows Game Pass Ultimate subscribers to enjoy some of the games that they have through cloud, though the program is limited to 50 games. Listen, Xbox or handheld or PlayStation handheld will face the same challenges of making sure an ecosystem feels consistent. If there's exceptions or specific games they can't be played on the hardware, they'll end up feeling like branded Steam Decks. Here's the thing, right? And this is what I said earlier, and some people question it. Maybe it's something, maybe it's nothing. But with Microsoft putting their games on PlayStation, if PlayStation comes out with a handheld that plays PlayStation 5 games, you're going to be able to play, Xbox, PlayStation games on that PlayStation device. Now, on the Xbox side, there is no similar thing, right? Some people think that Microsoft, because they hinted at maybe having a Steam store on their platform before, some people think that they'll do that, but I've always questioned that and said it didn't make sense, because Microsoft and Sony subsidize their hardware by giving us a platform that has a store where they make money off third-party game sales, make money off first-party game sales, make money off third-party microtransactions. They make money off people paying to play online. They make money off subscription services like Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. So if you have, say, a Steam store on this Xbox thing, that's not an Xbox anymore. It's just a Steam Deck, but made by Xbox, right? So that's like a completely different thing. In that instance, yeah, I guess it would be able to play some of the PlayStation games that are on Steam, but it's not the same thing as, a native console where if you have those games, they're in your library or whatever. You know what I mean? So that to me wouldn't make as much sense. And also, it's like I had mentioned earlier, how would you, if you have this Xbox branded device and you buy a game and it has a Steam store and you buy a third-party game through Steam, Microsoft makes no money off of that. And then let's say it has multiplayer and you're playing that through Steam, you don't have to pay to play online on Steam. So Microsoft, again, makes no money for that. So really, it kind of makes me question, I think that that's really one of the biggest kind of question marks that you would have. It wouldn't really make sense in that kind of aspect to be able to have this platform that, can kind of play games, but, you're not subsidizing the way that you used to. And, that is a real question kind of going forward. It's like if you don't have a way to kind of go about that and to make people, hey, why should we buy this or whatever? Like that's like the thing when it comes to this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You've got to be able to give people a reason. And to me, anyway, it just never really seems like much of a reason to own an Xbox if they're doing a handheld. Like, that could be a really cool thing if you had exclusive Gears of War and, you know what I mean? If you had, and not tied to the PC side of things, because I feel like if you're tying everything to the PC, you're really setting yourself up, because people that like consoles, they like consoles for easeability and ease of use and things like that. Like, I don't want to, listen, the Switch, it's weak as hell. It is, right? But at the same time, it's like, we have this situation where they have, you pop in your game and you play it. Like, that's what people are looking to do, like if Xbox comes out with something, I want to be able to kind of pop it in and play it or download it and play it. I don't want to have to mess with settings or, this or that or the other thing. I don't want to be in mixed lobbies with people using, keyboard and mouse and all this kind of stuff. So there's definitely a lot to unpack here and see what happens in the future. Honestly, it really kind of just comes down to what's going on and how these companies can kind of bank this and market it. Anything can change. We'll see. I think that there's something to be said for the handhelds, and it could be really, really good competition. But Microsoft has to attack things. They can't keep giving games to PlayStation. They can't allow PlayStation to get Xbox and PlayStation games, right? It's like, And because if Microsoft is making something that's PC or Windows based, where does that leave the games that we have now? They're not going to suddenly be licensed for Windows. So, that's like something people have to keep in mind when they have these delusions of grandeur that, these things are going to be available everywhere, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's going to be that way, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Let me know what you think. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap 'em up, crap gamer